Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're going to talk about how velocity banking is a scam. And even though I've posted videos about how it's a scam, what's funny is that people just email me telling me, like, please help me with this velocity banking thing. And I'm like, didn't you watch my videos about how it's a scam? And then I was like, okay, well, I'll go over it with you. And then I actually made an exclusive live stream about someone who had 22 debts and literally had $4 left over in savings. And in fact, let me try to look for that right now. Yeah, you see this $4 left over and 22 debts. And then it was an exclusive live stream for members. It's 99 cents for YouTube channel members. And by the end of the
To
live
add that in.
stream, okay, what's
And seeing
crazy is that somebody wrote like this was a masterpiece, right? This was a masterpiece. And then the comments were like the most useful video on the internet right now. Absolutely love this example. So it's crazy that I just keep telling people like, hey, don't learn this stuff. You know, it's not gonna be helpful to you, but I'll just do a demo anyways because, I'm a master marketer. No, I'm actually not, but I'm trying to get there, right? So let me go ahead and demo it anyways, and then, if you want me to kinda demonstrate it further, I guess I can, but it's a scam. Don't look into it, right? Actually, this person who I did the demonstration for 22 debts, 6 months later, wrote this email and was like I don't know if it was 6 or 4 months, it was like, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to discuss my situation. Yeah, it was 4 months. And so, again, I could say it's a scam, but apparently people got helped by it. So whatever. So I'll just do another demo again. And you know what's funny? I learned this from Costco. You ever like look at like the people inside Costco who hand out food samples and they look like they don't even want to be there? They just hand out food. They have like expressionless face, but then like uh they know Costco knows that sales will go up. They don't have to tell you the food is good. They just like distribute it out, and then once you have a sample, you'll eat it up, right? That's kind of like my marketing philosophy. You know what I mean? So I'll just tell you like, oh yeah, 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 it's really bad. I don't even want to be here. But let me go ahead and demonstrate this velocity banking thing to you. And what's funny is so many of you watch, so many of you watch and are shocked. I made videos about calling you out about you got the velocity banking poker face, and I felt exactly what ChatGPT said about the shock value about learning velocity banking. And I know you are all watching this to like a hawk, right? And so sometimes I got to call you out because, if I literally did not have YouTube analytics, I would even know that you're watching. I mean, it's crazy how so many of you watching, even though I call velocity banking a scam, right? Look at all these videos about how it's a scam. Don't ask for velocity banking help. It's a scam, but y'all want it. So guess I got to demo it. And look how many people have watched just for me doing demos, right? Oh, we passed the 500,000 view mark. When that happened? I didn't even know that. And we already made our $5,000. So I'm just scamming it up. I'm living up the scam life, but let me go. I need to stop rambling and do the demo. But let's go ahead and do the demo. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt with the help of a line of credit, right? And that's exactly what we did with this person. 22 debts, 22 debts, and this person had a maxed out line of credit. This is like the best. If you want a PhD in velocity banking, just do this situation. I couldn't even believe it myself. I was like, whoa. So I can still call it a scam, but you know what? The marketplace doesn't even care how the supplier feels about the product. I mean, I could call it a scam, but if that's what the marketplace wants, that's how you make money in business. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's just see if it's a scam or not, or if it might actually help people. And we'll just do another real life demonstration. And what I always like to do is I always like to just ask simple, basic questions, right? And this is how I present velocity banking is that if you have a decent income, and the reason why I say decent is people don't understand how banking works. Banks don't lend to poor people. Banks don't lend money to people who need it. So, people say, well, what do I do if I'm not making that much money? And I'm like, buddy, banks don't lend to poor people. You know what the average credit card debt in this country is? It's about like $6,000. So if you're making more money, you're going to get flyers in the mail. And then what they're hoping for is that you get into more debt. and you don't pay them off too quickly, right?
Mm.
That's kind of like the prerequisites for velocity banking. Okay. But a lot of people don't understand banking and they don't understand how to get credit. And I'm just going to tell you, a lot of people like say, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, bro, buddy, I have over 587,000 something in lines of credit, right? Lines of credit. And so the reason I got all this credit is because I know the secret to banking, which is banks don't lend money to people who need it. Now, there is a time, like let's say this person, where we didn't need money, just like this person here in the real life situation didn't need money. And then the bank lent it to him, right? And then what happens is that you get payment after payment after payment, and every single payment that you get from the bank is just going to eat up your cash flow, and you were like, "I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." You know what that phenomenon is called? It's called segregation of income. You get paid, your paycheck gets split into many different ways because of debt, and you just end up making minimum payments in total, right? So what we're trying to do with velocity banking is we're not gonna segregate our income, and we're gonna put our income into one place, just one place, and eliminate debt that way. And we're gonna do this by not increasing our income, but maximizing our cash flow. And we do that by not saving money. And we use the flexibility of a line of credit to help us easily not save money, right? Anyone can overpay a loan, right? But why do have people have such a hard time overpaying a loan is because they feel like they need to save money, and they know that when they put the money in the loan, they can't get it back easily, right? And if you do it the way that the average American does it, they end up screwing up, right? End up segregating their income, and they're like, I saw this on Reddit post where it's like, I have a HELOC and I have savings, but how do I pay off the HELOC without wiping out my savings? Like, the answer's right there, buddy. Saw it on Reddit. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna assume we have access to a $250,000 line of credit. But I only assume we have a free and clear line of credit just to make the demonstration easy, just because I don't want to think too much. But if you want to see the real life complicated PhD case scenario, again, click the YouTube channel. It's only 99 cents and watch this live stream. This is amazing. Right? Someone said this was a masterpiece. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go here. And this is what we do. What we do is we got to figure which debts to move into the line of credit to maximize this thing called cash flow. Okay. And so, how do we determine which debts to move? Well, the easiest way, especially if you have 22 debts, is by using what we call the cash flow index, right? You see this ranking system right here. So, basically, all it is, okay, all it is, so I'll just do CFI, is a formula of the balance of the loan or the debt divided by the monthly payment or the minimum monthly payment. So 487.5. So you see how you got this arbitrary number, 27,000 divided by 855, and then this is going to be 30000 divided by 1050. And then luckily I got um, these cash flow indexes in this loan calculator that I can easily produce. That's all right. So now you see, so what does this mean? Okay. So think of this as a ranking system, and the higher the number, you don't want to pay that off because you get such little cash flow for paying it off. So what do we mean by that? Think about it. I only pay off $30,000. I get $1,000 back in my cash flow, or 1050, right? If I pay off this $250,000 loan, I only get 1,054 in my cash flow. So which one gives you more bang for your buck in terms of paying off the debt and cash flow? Well, obviously the lowest number, not this big 200 number. So that's what I mean. So what we're going to do is going to take these low numbers, right, and move them into the line of credit. And how much was this? Let me just see. It's $72,000 of credit card debt. Add this up. These balances, it's going to be $72,000 of credit card debt. And let's go ahead and do that. And oh my goodness, guess what happens here? Whoa. How do we get from $0 to $2,392.50? Right? Whoa. We did it by not saving money. And then the final step is dumping our entire paycheck into the line of credit, expenses out. And then after every single month, the balance of the line of credit is going to go down by $2,392.50 plus some interest on the line of credit. See how easy that was? Oh my goodness, I'm running out of breath. Okay. And this is why, because of clickbait moments like this, I have a very huge watch time. Actually, the watch time's right here. Very huge. It's bigly, right? And so, actually, let me do this. Poker. Actually, yeah, let me type in poker face, right? And that's why, I have people saying how shocked they are when they learn about velocity banking, because how do you go from $0 to $2,392 without making more money? I don't know. See? And, some of you might be new to this and might be a little confused. What's the difference between average American velocity banker? Basically, what's your main operating account, right? So the average American, they use their checking account to pay for things, and then whatever's left over, they put in savings. Velocity banking, we don't use our savings, and we put all of our paycheck into our line of credit, and then we pay for things out of our line of credit. So if we need to, let's say, pay off the mortgage, yes, we still have a checking account, but we just pull it out of the line of credit and then pay for it, right? And some of you are not familiar with what we call a line of credit. So, what's a line of credit? All it is a financial tool where you can borrow money, pay it back, and then use it over and over again. And so, you see, I have my $280,000 line of credit here. $280,000. Very simple, right? So, I could just literally click the bank's website, go click a button, and then I guess I'll feel like Thanos where I could just do a snap and then put all this money into my checking account and a 7.5% interest rate. And you see how I don't save any money? Like $0 here. As soon as it comes in, it just goes out, right? And that's how I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. Okay. See how easy that was? No, actually, it's not that easy. I just got lucky. All right. Well, I believe in the saying, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Okay. But don't do this. It's all a scam. And anybody who sent me thank you notices about, how I helped them, Delulu. But it doesn't matter what my opinion is. It's about whether that person was actually helped or not, right? And so that's why I can create videos about how this is a scam and make clickbait about how we went from $0 to in savings to $2,392.50. Whoa. All right. So now let's do the final step. All right. So again, to get the next month's balance, it's just this plus one, and then to whoopsie, I2 plus one. What am I doing? My goodness. I'm going crazy. So I2 plus one. And then what we're going to do to get the next month's balance is based on the previous month's balance, previous month's interest, minus our cash flow, which is 2392.5. And then what we do is take the average daily balance, right? We take the average daily balance, multiply it by the interest rate, and then divide it by 12. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. And then again, paycheck in, expenses out, paycheck in, expenses out. We're adding the interest for the next month, right? And then we're just getting rid of it. All right. So look how easy that is, right? No need to worry about that credit card debt. And I'm going to do it right here. And so I'm going to do this. Whoopsie. What I screwed up here? 34 months we paid off that credit card debt. So simple. So simple. All right. I'm sounding like the PBS cook, Martin Yan, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. So now let's just go here. 72K. We paid off the debt. 72K. And then the thing about amortized loans is that as you're making the payments, the balance does die away over time, right? So luckily we have a loan calculator to help us figure out what the balance of these loans are. And so some of you might be thinking, well, shouldn't you focus on the 6% loan because it's the highest interest rate? Listen, maybe it might be easier to focus on if you have a small amount of loans, but think about this. If you had 22 debts and you got all this up in your alley, how are you going to figure out which debts to pay off? That's why I like to use the cash flow index because it's so easy, right? Just, okay, we'll pay this off in a certain order, increase your cash flow. Well, I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead and you see this right here, 9 grand for 400 or 30 grand for about 450. I'm going to pay off the 9 grand to get the 400 my cash flow. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and plus 9939.15. And I am going to do this 0 and we're going to have $2,787 in our cash flow back. So I'm going to control paste. And let's see how long it takes to get rid of that car loan. So 2787.81. Okay. And I'm going to copy and paste. Whoa, 38 months. That was easy. 4 more months to pay off the car. That was really good. All right. So 38 months. And then it's going to be 72 plus 22. So 94K. All right. So now in 38 months, so this is zero, 38, right? And then now what we got to do is get rid of the student loan. So you see right here, the cash flow, this is the lowest cash flow index. Just some nuances that you may not be aware of. If your cash flow index is really high and you have a low, like a big interest rate difference between the line of credit and the loan, maybe not the best idea to move the loan into the line of credit. Okay. And I always demonstrate with this mortgage because the mortgage has the highest cash flow index, meaning I paid 232,000 to only get about $1,000 back in my life. Got to be worth it, right? And the reason why we do eventually want to pay it off is because if this sucker isn't paid off quickly, look how much interest we pay, right? Even at a 3% loan, we're paying about 50% interest, okay? $129,000 interest. That's a no bueno. But we got to pay it off last. That's the moral of the story, okay? So I'm going to move the student loan into the line of credit, and let's go ahead and get rid of that sucker. All right, so I'm going to do this. Move that student loan. All right, so this is going to be plus 29813.83. And now let's upgrade our cash flow by about 400 something dollars. So 444, this is now zero. Paycheck in, expenses out, paycheck in, expenses out. Oh gosh, this is so boring to me. But that's how you know when you're good, when this is like all really boring. 3231.89. And then I am going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then this is going to be done at 47 months. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. 47 months. All right, so 47 months, and then now this is going to be 94K plus 40, which is 134K. And then now, here's what I want to demonstrate with this high cash flow index loan, which is 228. So there's several ways to pay this off, right? And one of the reasons why I say, hey, just still even use a line of credit at this stage is because you don't want to go back to ever segregating your income again. Because what happens with a lot of people is like, well, I'm going to throw this extra $3,000 directly into the loan, which you can. But what if you miscalculate or you need extra money? You could pull out of the line of credit. You could pull out of the credit cards. You certainly can. But what happens, you're going to end up segregating your income. So don't do it. Okay. Make it easy on yourself. You know what the beauty of the strategy is? When I dump all of my paycheck in and I have maybe, slightly miscalculations or I'm doing better than expected, it's all going to be done for me. I don't have to think about anything. And a lot of people, they freak out about, 3% loan to 8% line of credit. Let me just show you something, okay? If you want to take the worst case scenario of this, meaning like let's say you use an 8% line of credit to help pay a 0% loan, which is the dumbest thing on earth, like what's the worst that can happen? Okay. Let me actually show you. Give me one moment. All right, so let me go ahead and show the velocity banking calculator. We'll say this is 0% interest for 30 years. And what's the payment amount? 694.44. So 694.44. And then what's the original balance, which is 250,000. And we'll just say we started at 250, right? 250,000. And we'll say this is a 8% loan. What's our income right now? Our income is 6285.9. So 6285.9. And then our expenses is everything except for the loan we're trying to pay off, which is $2,000. So 2000. And so the thing I want to demonstrate is that when you're dealing with a mortgage, okay, you don't want to put the whole thing into a line of credit. Okay, because let's say I converted a 0% mortgage into an 8% line of credit, 250,000. I lose 69,000. Again, this is the worst case scenario because people freak out about the interest rate difference. And you shouldn't replace your mortgage with the line of credit because the line of credit interest rate is always going to be higher for the most part because the interest rate represents two things. Number one, it represents the risk the borrower has, right? So if you're a risky borrower, obviously you pay higher interest rates, but it also represents the amount of access you have to your money. So obviously, loans have you in general have lower interest rates because you don't ever get that money back when you put it in, and it's a lot harder to manage it. But let's say we chunk it. I mean, do a smaller amount, moving a smaller amount of the loan into a line of credit. You see how it's 69 grand right now, but let's do a small amount like 7 grand. Whoa, it makes a huge difference, right? We only overpay by 1.6. So I'm saying like, hey, if you have a low interest rate mortgage, you could just directly put your money in there directly. But if you want to use the line of credit to make sure you don't ever segregate your income again and still pay it off quickly, and I'm showing you the worst case scenario that can happen to you, 0%, literally 0 interest paid after 30 years, and you still use an 8% line of credit. Oh, what's the worst that can happen? You overpay by, $1,000. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead and do the quote realistic scenario of having a 3% mortgage. Somebody like actually complained 0% mortgages aren't realistic, and it's like no, no, no. I don't even want to cuss. No, duh, Sherlock. I'm showing you the worst case scenario that even if you used an 8% line of credit, what could happen if you actually had a 0% mortgage, right? People are such morons. All right, so let me go ahead and do this. And so what? So 3%, 30 years, right? So it's be 30 years. And what's the current payment? Which is 1054.01, 1054.01. And then what's the current balance? It is 228,632.43. 228,632.43. And then you could see right here, we only pay 17 grand of interest. Okay. 17 grand. And we paid off in 4.8 years. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm just going to do 47 divided by 12 plus how many years? 4.8 years. 4.8 years. Okay, 8.72 years, and we are debt free. We are debt free. All right. And so now that's pretty much it. I mean, I just proved that this was a scam. Don't do it. Don't email me. You don't need help. You certainly don't want to watch this 22 debt elimination real life velocity banking case live stream where someone just had only $4 left over in the very beginning, right? $4 and it was 22 debts. Look at that. I was like, oh my goodness. Maxed out line of credit with only $234 left over. You don't want to watch that because this has never helped people. This is a scam. All this is just AI generated. It's not real. Like, don't watch it. But let me go ahead and pull out the full food samples, right? These are the food samples. Costco food samples. I could tell you the food's disgusting. You'll still eat it because it's about whether you need it or not me convincing you whether you need it. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. This is Creating Alliance Mentorship. If you're interested in learning not only about velocity banking, but a little bit more real estate investing, financial literacy, go ahead and click the Google form link below. And then something, something, blah, blah, blah. That's how I get paid through this because you pay me and then you learn a little bit more. Something like that. I don't know. I think that's how business and marketing works. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Right. It's probably why I paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll just I'll just end it with that. Some people are like staring at this, like, is this real? Is this real? Nah, don't look at it. It's not real. It's actually mine though, but I think with AI tools nowadays, just assume it's not real. I'm not real. I'm not real. All right. Well, that's it for today, folks. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.